Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't posted a video since the beginning of 2018. I understand this. Your eyes do not deceive you. This is not a mirage. Gordon is back on YouTube and I'm ready to give you guys the sickest content every single week on my YouTube channel and make the most of the amazing following I've already got on here. So today, the first video we are doing back on YouTube is me kind of revisiting the first makeup tutorial I ever gave you guys. The first eye look that I ever showed you guys was a purple spotlight eye, and that is exactly what we've done today. This is like a 2020 gold version of that look and I'm super happy with how it came out. I've got 3 pairs of lashes on at the moment, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and I do everything so differently to that first tutorial. It's just strictly eyes today. I promise I'll have a full glam tutorial for you guys very soon, but please subscribe for more. It would mean a great deal to us, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, I will now hand you over to Makeup Free Gordon, who will take you through this lovely eye look. Right, you lovely lot, let's get cracking with this really in-depth purple eye tutorial. So the very first thing I'm going to do is groom these eyebrows. So I've got quite downward growing eyebrows, quite sad eyebrows. I don't like that, I like the feathered look. So the very first thing I'm going to do is use a little bit of the pink honey pot, similar to brow soap, in that it is a product that you wet and put through your brows. It dries clear, it comes out easily, but this product has way more hold and I feel like it's way more texture to my eyebrows. So straight into the pot, there's a little hole inside of the pot. I'm going to pop some setting spray inside. I'm going to swirl a mascara wand into the little hole that's inside of the pot and get my mascara wand completely coated in the honey and begin to take it through my eyebrows. So you'll see instantly it's going to give me loads of texture and it's going to start to flick up my brow hairs, and it'll be much easier to push them into the direction that I'm happy with. I'd recommend you do this step as a first step. Don't do it when you've got makeup on, do it on clean skin, just so you're not wetting any of your face makeup or eye makeup and pulling it into the eyebrow. My mascara wand is a little bit moist right now, so the last thing you want to be doing is take something scratchy and moist and work it against any of your lovely eye makeup. So I like to slick my brows first, and then because of how strong hold this product is, they ain't going anywhere. Then I'm going to leave this to go a little bit more tacky and set a little bit more while I do the other side. And then there's one more step to this honey pot technique. So I'm going to pop this product through my other brow too. So this is my stronger brow, this is my naturally fuller and fluffier eyebrow. And I'd advise, even when just filling your eyebrows with any technique, start with your weaker brow, try and make it look more like your favourite brow, and then when it comes to filling in your favourite brow, you'll have to do less. So now that I'm happy with how much product's in both eyebrows, I'm going to go back to the one that I worked on first. Take my clean finger and push these hairs into the skin and slick them down, and you'll get that really slick, clean, flat, laminated look to the brows. It looks amazing. And I'm going to keep doing this technique until the product's no longer slippy within my eyebrows. It's more like a tackiness, and you can kind of feel that it's set and you no longer need to kind of smooth your finger across the brows. So I actually love the look of my eyebrows just like this, just with my natural hairs slicked. That's how I go about my daily life, but since we are doing eye makeup, I want my brows to be a little bit more perfected and a little bit more fierce, so there are a few more steps to the brows. But I think that pink honey brow pot is an amazing product and I highly recommend it to you guys. So to prime the eyes today, I'm going to use the Mitchell Acid Rain paint in the shade Blank Canvas. This is a lovely full coverage thick cream product. It is self-setting with a matte finish, and it makes for a great eyeshadow primer, and it's actually made for cutting the crease. So if you're looking for a new eye base, I highly recommend this. I do prefer more of a matte finish rather than a tacky finish. I don't set my eye base anymore like in my old video, and I certainly wouldn't use the Urban Decay Eden primer. That's just way too matte for me now. So everything I loved about that Urban Decay primer I used in my first video, I love even more in this product. You can use any synthetic flat brush that you like, any brush that is that's fabulous at shaping the brows. I'm going to use this £2 Superdrug brush. It's just called their shadow brush, and I'm going to flatten the brush back and forwards into the product until the brush is completely saturated in the primer and the brush is really skinny and nipped, and then I'm going to begin to shape my eyebrow. And as long as the brush is really skinny and really saturated in the product, if you just glide the brush across the skin with light pressure, you should get that crisp full coverage line straight away. So we're not actually going to properly fill in the brows until most of the look is already on, the eyes and the skin, but this is going to kind of give us a guide to kind of fill in the gaps and work on top of later. So I'm constantly, every few strokes, just dipping my brush back into my eyeshadow primer, reshaping my brush and resaturating my brush, and then going back to my line underneath my brow. And I personally like there to be a nice, soft, smooth lift and drop to my brows. I don't like too high of an arch, and I don't like too dramatic of a deviation in shape. When you're happy with your line, you can start to pull down your eye primer. If this product isn't correct to your skin tone, I still recommend that you guys go for something that's about 2 or 3 shades lighter, so you get that lovely popping, highlighted, crisp line underneath your eyebrow, and something a little bit more brightening for you guys to work on top of for your bright coloured eye makeup. And I'd recommend you either go for the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the little pot, or I would use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. Both products are thick, full coverage and dry with a more matte finish, so they'll be great for this step. And you want to take any fluffy synthetic brush that you would use for concealer and begin to soften the edges of the eye primer into the skin. And I definitely recommend that you guys work one eye at a time when it comes to using this product, because it is more on the matte side, it dries very quickly. I'm just softening the edges on the inner and outer corner as it blends into the temple and into the nose. And I'm going to lightly tap all the way across the base to make sure it's as flat and as smooth as possible. The smoother your eye base, the smoother your blend's going to be. So I'm just going to take whatever's left on my brush and just lightly flick up at the very front until this brow carving line kind of just ombres and disappears into my little fluffy hairs at the front of my brow. So I'll be working from the Mitchell and Beauty Bay palette, Me, Myself and Mitchell. And the very first thing I'm going to do is take this Spectrum A12 brush, which is a tall fluffy pencil brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Mafia, which is the matte black, and begin my smoking out of my inner and outer corner. So we are doing a lovely, gorgeous, shimmery purple spotlight today, and we're going to be doing a nice reverse blend. So we're going to be building up pigment very quickly and working back to front, so working from dark into light. And then we're going to get a mega payoff from these shadows. So tucking in this black in like a little C shape on my outer corner. Same goes for this inner corner. I'm going to tuck the brush right into the inner corner, do little tiny circles and wiggles and really feel my eye shape. Obviously the gorgeous shape of a spotlight is having matte depth on the inner and outer corner, and then just a beam of shimmer on the centre panel of the lid, and it makes the eyes look super smoky but also super rounded and really bold. I love it. And just keep building this up until you're happy with the position of the black and how the pigment is looking. And I'd recommend using little bits of eyeshadow at a time, little and often I always say. If you're using a really good quality brush, a really good quality eyeshadow and a tackier base, you shouldn't have to try very hard to get great payoff. You shouldn't have to create sandstorms to get pigment. So now I'm going to take the Spectrum B04 brush, which is this fluffy but flat but angled brush. It's amazing. And I'm going to take the shade Motto, which is like a deep berry wine tone. And I'm going to stamp lightly and begin to break up the edges of my black. So you want to kind of work half on the black and half on the nude base, and there should be a lovely halo and rim of that berry tone around all the edges of the black. So I'm just using very light pressure, very small amounts of eyeshadow, and using a brush that's quite small but fluffy. And I'm not trying to blend out at this stage, that's what the other two shadows are for. So you apply your depth and your shape, you break up the edges, and then you blend. If you want to bring back any of your black, now that you've applied all of your berry tone, don't pick up any more eyeshadow, just pick up the brush that you previously used. This will have excess on it, and obviously we've spent all that time building up all of that black, so all we need to do is do light little taps, and it'll knock away some of that berry tone and fuse the two colours together nicely, just like that. So I get that I look like a raccoon right now. It's crazy how much this is going to come together just with the next two steps. So again, you apply your depth and your shape, you map that out, you break up your edges with another colour, and it's the next two colours after that that halo the edges and actually do the blend for you. So from the same Spectrum set, I'm going to use the C06 brush, which is a nice, dense but fluffy domed concealer brush. And I'm going to dip into the shade Morgan, which is like a matte bright purple. It's very similar to one of my favourite eyeshadows from Sugar Pill called Poison Plum. So now with even lighter pressure and even less eyeshadow, because this one's really pigmented, I'm going to begin to use the same technique of haloing the edges, half on the previous eyeshadow and half on the blank base. And again, you can go back to your previous brush that had the berry on and make sure it goes from black into berry into purple. And make sure there's a lovely blend between the three tones. And the brush with the black on, there's a bit of a pattern going on here. So again, just taking that shade Morgan, using little bits of eyeshadow and very little pressure, and begin to add a little bit of vibrancy to the edges of the smokiness we've laid out. So this should be the step where all of this starts to look pretty. We're going to take the B06 brush, again from Spectrum. This is a big fluffy brush. I'm going to take the shade Miles High, which is a lovely matte lilac shade, and using the tiniest bit of shadow and the tiniest bit of pressure, I'm going to hold my brush quite far out, and I'm going to begin to do little tiny circular motions and start to tickle my edges of all of that brighter purple. It's going to knock down the colour a little bit and just start to soften everything into the skin. And instantly this is looking 1,000 times better and more profesh. But you can apply this shadow technique to any shape and any tone, as long as you go from dark, medium to light, and you're using these same techniques and the same size brushes, and you're laying it out the same and finishing by softening the edges with your lightest colour and your lightest pressure. You know, this blending technique is universal, guys. So again, holding the brush further out, miles high, tiny little circles, we're going to begin to soften up this blend lovely. Don't add any more shadow, just go back to the previous brush and whatever excess is on the brush first. And it's crazy sometimes how that little bit of shadow that's on the brush is just enough to add that colour back in. Sometimes when you add new shadow you create new problems for yourself as you'll over apply. So I'm going to take a little bit of the NYX Milk Chubby Stick. I'm going to take this on a flat brush and I'm going to kind of re-prime the centre part of our eyelid. So just in case any of the shadows came into the middle by accident, and also just to re-brighten up that centre panel, we're going to use some of this NYX eyeshadow stick. So the brush that I used to apply it was the A16, and I'm now going to soften it with the A13, again both from Spectrum. I'm using the same eye set for the whole look. So now I'm going to give this just little tiny taps until this really creamy pencil just starts to break up. So I'm slightly tapping and pulling out this way. So whatever's left on the flat brush, I'm just going to take that down the middle just once more, just to make sure that this is nice and bright. And it should look something like this. So before I do anything shimmery, even if it's just a normal eyeshadow, I will maximise that pigment, and to do that I always use the Doll Beauty Pigment Popper. This is a very long wearing tacky clear gel that grabs onto any pigment of anything shimmery, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to lightly take this across the white that we've just applied to the centre of the lid. And because it is translucent, as long as you don't put too much on, you use a fluffy brush and you're nice and light when you're tapping it onto the lid, you won't disturb any of your eye makeup. I'm going to leave that to set for a little second, so I'll show you the pigment we're going to use. So this is the Soul Sister Cosmetics pigment in the shade Cis. It's white and reflects a pink fuchsia. It is absolutely stunning, so you can use this for both pink and purple looks. And again, by using a fluffy brush, we're going to get a nice soft application of this pigment, and it's not going to go on harsh in any way. But can you guys see that shine already? It is so beautiful. And because we've done an open topped spotlight eye, I actually don't care if it goes a little bit up into the brow bone. It just looks like a brow bone highlight. So for the waterline, we're going to do like a spotlight waterline as well. So we're going to take a little bit of black and we're going to pop on the outer third and inner third of your waterline. And you can kind of rim up into the upper tight line as well. And then we're going to go back to our Milk Chubby Stick from NYX. And you can kind of use your finger within the waterline to smooth those two colours together and gradate them, and just go between the two pencils and the blending until you're happy with the blend from black to white. I'm also going to put a little bit of this pencil underneath the eye, that little centre section just like we did on the top, and tap it out. But we're going to leave it white underneath here. So we're very almost done with the tutorial, guys. I'm going to use my favourite mascara at the moment. This is the Anastasia Lash Brag, and I'm going to give my lashes a really good smoky coat of this really deep thickening mascara. Right guys, so it's time for lashes. I'm actually going to stack 2 pairs for the top. I'm going to use Eldora false lashes in the styles M112 and M116. It's going to create a really fluffy and spiky, dramatic, smoky lash that's going to be perfect for this look. So while my lashes are drying, I'm going to fill in my brows. I'm going to use the Zings Pro palette from Benefit, and this is in the shade Medium Deep. It comes with brow shadows and pomades. I'm going to use this middle pomade because it's dark and neutral like my natural brow hairs. And I'm going to use the skinniest and thinnest brow brush that I have and start to paint in little hairs within my gaps. So the idea is to just use little hair strokes on a very, very skinny brush and using a product that's the same depth as your natural brow colour, and fill in the gaps with little stripes just like brow hair in the same direction that we spiked them up at the beginning. So can you see how the texture that I'm recreating literally matches what's already going in my brows perfectly. So the Pink Honey Brow Pot and the cleaning up with the concealer actually are doing most of the work for us within the eyebrows. So for me, that's just the right amount of eyebrow to go with a dramatic eye look like this. I'm super happy with the way that the brows are looking right now. It's a good brow day. I'm obsessed with these 2 lash styles stacked. It looks class. And because we've got that border of that white behind the lash, you can really see the lovely spikes that this style has. And that's our finished eyes, guys. And this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video today, guys, and I hope it was helpful for you. And this is the best my brows have ever looked in my whole entire life, and I'm so glad it's on camera for you all. Please comment below with your favourite part of this makeup look, or whatever your favourite step of the makeup look was. My next video is going to be me reacting to the first episode of series 2 of The Glow Up on BBC, so that should be interesting. And that's going to be something I'm going to upload every single week for you guys, along with other videos. And if you recreate this look, please tag me over on Instagram. It would mean a great deal to me. And until next time, I'll see you later, guys. Bye bye.